Yo, J Blank here. The Flipper Zero. It's the Swiss Army knife for geeks, a pen tester's pocket companion, and a device that totally captured the imagination of hackers and tinkerers everywhere. Its power comes from the versatility and how modular it is. The fact that you can expand what it does with simple plug-and-play hardware. We've seen Wi-Fi boards that turn it into a network analysis tool and beefy external antennas that give its range a massive boost. But what about the official modules, the one that came straight from Flipper devices? Among them, one promised to turn the Flipper from a serious tool into something purely for fun. It had all the right stuff: a powerful new brain, motion controls, and a connection to the big screen. And yet, it pretty much landed with a quiet thud. It's gained a reputation for being the module that a lot of people own, but very few actually use. This official Flipper add-on promised to turn your device into a portable retro gaming console. But for most people, it's just been collecting dust. In this video, we're going to figure out why the Flipper Zero video game module became one of the most underused pieces of official hardware and what it would take to actually make it awesome. Let's rewind to when this thing was actually announced, back in February 2024. The idea was awesome and super simple. Plug a board into your Flipper and boom, you have a gaming console. The video game module, or VGM, was built to do two main things: send your Flipper screen to a TV and give you a whole new way to interact with apps using motion controls. And on paper, this thing is seriously impressive. At its heart is a Raspberry Pi RP2040 microcontroller, the exact same dual-core chip that powers the super popular Raspberry Pi Pico. This wasn't just some basic accessory. It's like giving the Flipper a second powerful brain just for new tasks. It has a full-size HDMI port for video. Technically, it's a DVI-D signal that gives you a crisp 6040 by 480 picture at 60 Hz. It also packs a TDK 6-axis motion sensor, which combines a gyroscope and an accelerometer for full motion tracking. And to top it off, it has a 14-pin GPIO breakout, letting you connect joysticks, sensors, or any other custom hardware you can cook up. Maybe the most interesting part is that the VGM was designed to be a full standalone device. You can unplug it from the Flipper, connect it to a PC with its own USB-C port, and program it just like a regular Raspberry Pi Pico. This made it more than just a gaming add-on. It has a flexible development platform all on its own. It has a powerful processor, motion controls, video out, and endless ways to expand it through GPIO. Plus, it was open source, just like the Flipper itself. The stage was set for a ton of cool games, apps, and homebrew projects. But what went wrong? Well, the promise was huge, but the reality was a bit underwhelming. The biggest problem right out of the gate was the software, or really the lack of it. Even with the module's open source firmware and powerful RP20 chip, it just didn't pull in a big active developer community. Even now, we're still waiting for that one killer app that really uses what this module can do. This software drought made the gaming experience pretty weak. The official launch apps were basically just tech demos. There was Air Arkanoid, which is a block breaker game you controlled by tilting the Flipper. And there's also Air Mouse, which let you control your computer's cursor with motion. They were neat, but just novelties. Other community-made games like Air Labyrinth were similarly basic. And honestly, users started to figure out pretty fast that the free games on their phone were way better. The general feeling was clear. If you wanted this for gaming, it was almost a waste of money. In my opinion, a key design choice really held it back. There's no SD card slot on the module itself. This created a bottleneck, limiting how big and complex projects could be and making the module feel less like a powerful independent unit and more like a clunky accessory. While you can use it as a standalone board plugged into a PC, that kind of defeats the purpose of a portable flipper add-on. So for most owners, the main use for the VGM turned into something way less exciting than gaming. It became a glorified screen mirror. Its most practical function is for presenters or creators who want to show a flipper hack on a big screen. It didn't really add more horsepower in a way you could feel. It didn't let you play more advanced games. It just put the same simple monochrome graphics on a bigger display. Now, I think the module wasn't a failure of hardware, but a failure of purpose. So the module is a letdown for gaming, but is it a total failure? Before we get into what could save it, let me know down in the comments. Do you own the video game module, and what do you actually use it for? Well, the video game module isn't dead, it's just waiting for its moment. It'll happen when the community finally starts using the powerful hardware that's been sitting there all along. The clearest way forward is to tap into that Raspberry Pi RP2040 chip. The RP2040 has a huge, passionate community behind it, with literally thousands of open source projects for everything from robotics to retro gaming emulation. Since the VGM is compatible with Pi Pico projects, the whole world of software could theoretically be brought over. We're just starting to see the first signs of this. For example, my project called PicoWare ports libraries to the VGM, allowing it to run classic screensavers and even simple full-color games while using the Flipper Zero for power and its D-pad for input. But imagine someone porting a full NES emulator, which already exists for the RP20, to the video game module. That one project could single-handedly make the module worth it for thousands of users. In the end, the module's revival is all on the community. It's fully open source from the schematics to the firmware. All the tools are there, it just needs a few champions in the developer community to see it not for what it is, but for what it could be. It needs to be treated less like a gaming accessory and more like the powerful standalone dev board it was designed to be. So, what is the most unused Flipper Zero module? For my money, it's the video game module. It showed up with the promise of turning our favorite hacking multi-tool into a retro gaming console, but was let down by a lack of good software and a clear reason to exist. It became an accessory that was fun for an afternoon and then got tossed in a drawer. Is it worth it? Well, if you're looking to play games, probably not. Your phone does it better and for free. If you need to output your flipper screen for presentations, then yeah, it's one of the official ways to do it. But if you're a developer, a tinkerer, or someone who sees a standalone RP2040 dev board with a motion sensor and video out as a blank canvas, then the answer is a big maybe. The video game module is a classic story of untapped potential. The hardware is solid, but the vision got lost somewhere. But honestly, its future isn't in the hands of flipper devices anymore. It's really in the hands of the community. It's just waiting for one killer app to finally show what it can do and make it the essential module it was always meant to be. If you had this module, what would you build with it? A custom game console? A gesture control pen testing tool? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more. I'm Jay Blanked. Thanks for watching. Peace.